Marvin, where exactly are you now?
Okay, I'm in the 200 block of West Greenway. That's where this fire broke out less than 20 minutes ago. It started in this middle home, and you can see firefighters are still trying to battle this home here. Officially talked to the sheriff who was over there, obviously pretty busy, but my understanding is they started getting these reports of severe damage in this area about 4:08 this morning. As a matter of fact, let me take you back a little bit further here. Gene, follow me back. That curve right there at 281 South here at Hildebrand, the big rig was headed up in that direction. Police say that he failed to negotiate the curve, and as you can see, this is the whole path that truck was taking. Yeah, you know, they were able to talk the surrender of one of the suspects, and then that turned into several more suspects being arrested here in this West Side apartment. We're in the 8600 block of Waters Edge. Here is exclusive video of some of those suspects as they were walked out in handcuffs. Sarah Barry Avalos is a small-framed man who appears to be mild-mannered, but police say he has a lethal side, a side he's willing to talk about for a price.
I'm going to throw a little more Spanish at you this morning, Marvin. You ready? Tienes que comer bien para nosotros hoy. You have some good eats for us, right?
Absolutely. I'll say that en anglais. I know we're talking about Colombia today, guys, but this place actually started off as a Mexican restaurant, and then they decided that they needed to fly the flag of their country and serve their food. Gunfire after a man fought intensely with San Antonio police.
Officer involved. He was here.
Copy, officer involved. And I have the shooting team on the way.
Police had the suspect in his 40s under surveillance at this Economy Inn.
Okay, so officers were here at this location looking for an individual who was wanted on several warrants, felony and misdemeanor, assaultive, drug-related.
An unrelated shooting brought the suspect out of a motel room. Investigators say they tried to take the man in, but he refused.
At one point, they attempted to tase him. The taser had no effect on him, had no impact.
San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says a police sergeant and an officer found themselves in harm's way.
He had the gun in his hand. He ripped the gun from the officer's belt.
The two shot the man multiple times. He was rushed from the motel to University Hospital. The man did not survive. Meantime, the sergeant who pulled the trigger is visibly shaken as the shooting team begins their investigation into this officer-involved shooting.
That's you holding your son. That's your flesh and blood. When you left the house, was he alive? Tell the truth for him.
I don't know. I didn't get to check on him. That's why I feel bad. I didn't get to check on him before I left.
A tearful Arjukumar Rana says he didn't kill his son Alexander on March 24th. But San Antonio police say he called them to confess the capital murder of the infant 6 days after Alexander's death. Investigators say he became frustrated with the crying child and took him into the bathroom of their apartment in the 3200 block of Northwest Loop 410. Inside of the bathroom, investigators say he used his thumbs to strangle his 2-month-old son. Checked his lifeless body, put the baby back in his crib, and went to work so his wife could make the discovery. The 19-year-old was arrested after an autopsy showed his son was strangled by a compression on his neck.
If you could tell Alexander something today, what would you tell him?
I miss you. I wish I woke up sooner to say it.
Rana says he's been haunted by suicide and depression in recent years, so he claims his confession to police in person and in a 911 call is an attempt to commit suicide by using the legal system because of his son's death.
Because you don't have the courage to kill yourself, you would make up a story about killing your 2-month-old son, and the story matches what death investigators find out? Something is missing there, sir. Wouldn't you agree? What is missing? Do you think it's the truth?
Something between when I fell asleep and I went to work happened.
This child that you're looking at, your child, deserves the truth.
Marvin Hurst, KENS 5, Eyewitness News. People still come to witness the day time stood still nearly 53 years ago.
You know, it's one of the most tragic events that we had. He was one of the most beloved presidents.
Dealey Plaza, the 35th president, John F. Kennedy, assassinated. Everyone wants to see where X marks the spot,
Videos.
including Robin Jovetic, who came here for the first time.
And it affected so many people.
He didn't know there was another tragedy just across the street.
I didn't actually realize it was as close.
Thursday, July 7th is a new and unthinkable day for Dallas. 5 officers of the law killed by a sniper's ambush.
It's a wonderful city full of great people, and unfortunately so often it's tied to the tragedies.
Allison Anthony is in town for a family gathering. They took pictures and then took heart of what occurred.
I think sometimes we forget how high the stakes are and that there's actually lives and families behind every tragic story.
Just trying to see, get a feel of what's going on around us.
Chris Coates came from Tyler after watching the deadly ambush unfold on television. He also wanted to walk his 6-year-old son through the scene.
We have to make change. And the first thing to make change is teaching our younger generation a different way.
Unfortunately, 5 of Dallas's finest found only one way. The tribute, emotions, and mourning for them continues to grow. So does the reach for resolve.
It's sad that we continually have to have events like this to bring people together.
It don't have to be this way. There's a better way.
These horrific markers of Dallas's tragedies could be the resistance for its better day.
Sometimes it's the unrest that drive us toward our better selves and seeking change, that the Grand Canyon wasn't built by still waters.
Police call it a wave of violence. A botched drug deal on the east side leads to a deadly shooting.
They say several people came outside of the home to make a drug deal with another group inside a car.
One person was shot in the face, 2 others.
First of all, what is the Hill?
It's home. It's just a normal particular hood, where we hang. People go to work. You got some work. People just hang out. But it's home, though. That's everywhere you stay at. Things happen everywhere, and I just feel like people need to respect where we stay at. Just because they say the gun violence, the shooting and all that, it's going on everywhere. It's not just going on one of you. It's everywhere. But over here, we like victims.
I've been here for just over a year now.
What is your impression of the neighborhood? How would you describe it?
There's peaks and valleys. I mean, there's a lot of time that nothing's going on, relatively speaking. And there's other times when it gets really busy. Busy as in crime, prostitution, drugs, shootings.
I'm a chemically altered man. When I say chemically altered, I'm talking about past birth.
What do you do?
What do you do that's chemical?
Are you saying? Are you?
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that wrong.
No. Are you telling me that?
Yeah, I smoke crack. I'm a former crack smoker, and I'm a smoker today, right now. Put it that way.
Track is clear. George and Darlene Jones.
How's it going, hon?
Keep things moving at the San Antonio Raceway. They met more than 4.5 years ago.
And it's been full throttle ever since. We're laying rubber everywhere we go.
2 days after their meeting, they went on their first date at the raceway. But who can concentrate on racing when love
is doing the driving.
I wasn't even watching the races then. I think we were flirting and just being with each other and getting to know each other.
The races and time roared by. 46-year-old George convinced Darlene to give up her job as a hotel GM and come out to the track and build a life together. George felt love spinning on their first date. And in about a year, it was time to tie the knot.
No, official, he means when we decided to get married. And I think that was when we took that trip to...
So on March 28, 2014, in the middle of a large race called Nitrojam, the two went into their Raceway conference room. A racer came off the strip and officiated this race to the altar.
Well, I told him that this was the most perfect moment and the most perfect time and the most perfect place in my life, and I wouldn't change a thing. That everything that has happened in the past has led me to this place to be with him, and that's how I felt.
Like a good husband, I agreed.
Nearly as fast as a car through a quarter mile, they became husband and wife.
What did you say to each other in 10 minutes?
Oh, well,
I do, and we were gone. It
And
was
a nice
quick.
long kiss.
This was a racer's wedding, so the food for the reception, snack platters, and food from the concession stand.
Yes, we did go out to the start line and were announced, you know, husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, just married at the track, and huge applause, but that wasn't what it was about. That's why we got married in the conference room.
For the two who found the speed of love, it was back to the races. Darlene followed her Nana's advice to drive this guy off into the sunset.
First thing she said, you can't get rid of him, hon. He's a keeper.
Their love got the green light to make laps forever. In Marion, Marvin Hurst, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.